Hi everybody, I'm just going to give a quick demonstration of some of our basic maths that we do in terms of our number work, so addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and some fractions work, and then this might help you if you're getting stuck on any of your arithmetic test questions as you go through and do those, because these sorts of calculations are on all of those different papers. So I'm going to start with addition and I'm going to work my way through, and hopefully if you get stuck you can just look at these videos and that'll remind you of how to do it. We're going to start with some addition. Now this is going to show you it back to front, so you're going to have to think about it a little bit. But here I've got two addition calculations. One of them we don't need to do any regrouping because none of my columns are going to add up to more than 9, and the other one we're going to need to use regrouping. So they're the two different things we have to think about when we're doing addition. So this top one, just to help you in terms of the way round that it is, I have my hundreds here, my tens and my ones, and then lined up underneath the second number, hundreds, tens and ones, and I always start over here with the ones. So I've got 7 ones, I have 2 ones, just gives me 9 ones, and because that number is 9 or less, I can just pop that in my answer. So I've got 9 ones in my answer. 0 add 2 tens gives me 2 tens, and 3 add 100 gives me 400. So there's no regrouping in that, and I can just add the columns as we go. But often, particularly when we get to year 3 and 4 work and beyond, we have some regrouping to do. So here in my ones, I've got 419 add 346, and in my ones, I've got 9 add 6. So that's going to add up to more than 9 ones. I'm going to have to regroup because 9 add 6 is 15. And if I have 15, that's 5 ones and 1 10. So I'm going to put my 1 10 here underneath my tens, and my 5 ones, so that I've got my 15 going across there. Then when I add up this middle column of my tens, 1 add 4 is 5, but I need to add this extra 10 on as well to give me 6 tens there. Nothing else to move across to this one, so I'm just going to add this column as it is. 4 add 3 is 7 to give me an answer of 765. Just like with addition, subtraction, you're either going to have calculations that need to regroup or that don't need to regroup. Here are some examples. So I've got 378 take away 214. I'm going to start over here on my ones. 8 take away 4. I can do that. That's absolutely fine because my number on top is bigger than my number on the bottom. So 8 take away 4 is 4. 7 take away 1 is 6, as we know. 3 take away 2 is 1. So 378 take away 214 gives me 164. This calculation here though, 307, let me just move it, 307 take away 162, and no, it's back to front, but we're going to start over here. When I look across at these, I always have to start with my ones, and I need to check for each column, is my top number bigger than my smaller number? And if it is, I can just subtract that column. If not, I'm going to need to regroup. So 7 take away 2, I can do that because 7 is bigger than 2, 7 is greater than 2. So 7 take away 2 is 5. However, my next column, my tens, when I do 0 take away 6, I can't do that because 6 has a greater value than 0. If I had 0 of anything, I couldn't take away 6 from it. So I'm going to need to regroup, and to do that I go to my next place value column and I'm going to take one of those hundreds, so my 3 becomes 200. I'm going to put that 100 in front of my tens there, so instead of to make that 100 I've got 10 tens, and I'm going to do 10 subtract 6, which I can do now to give me 4. And then instead of doing my 3 that I started off with, I've now got to look at my 200s. 200 to take away 1 gives me 100. So 307 take away 162 gives me an answer of 100. Multiplication. Again, we've got no regrouping questions and we've got regrouping questions. We're looking at calculations that are set out like this. So this is 32 times 3 here. I'm going to start again with my ones and multiply each part of my top number by the bottom number. So I'm going to do 2 times 3 first of all. 2 times 3, make sure I'm not going off screen, 2 times 3 is 6, and then 3 times 3, so I'm going across that way now, is 9. So 32 times 3 is 96. If I have a look at this second question that I've got on here, this is a different example. So here I've got 64 times 4. This one I'm going to need to use regrouping for. It works the same way as the addition. If my answer to my first column is 9 or more, I need to regroup. So 4 times 4, so 4 lots of 4, I know is 16, but 16 is greater than 9. I can't put 16 ones in here. So 16 is 6 ones and 1 10. So I put it in the right columns there to make 16. Then I multiply my tens. So 6 times 4 is 24. And I add that 1 on that I've got at the bottom. So 6 times 4 is 24. Add 1 is 25. So 64 times 4 gives me an answer of 256. Right, next we have division. We're going to use our times tables to do division. Here, remember this is backwards, so I've got 84 divided by 2. This is different from the other 3 operations that we're doing because we're going to actually start with the larger part of our number first. And the question we're going to ask ourselves as we go along is how many 2's are there in this part of the number? So we're going to use our 2 times tables because that's here, the number outside of the bus stop. How many 2's are in 8? 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 4 lots of 2 with no remainders, okay? And then we move along to the next part of the number, 4. How many 2's are in 4? 2, 4. That's 2 lots of 2 in 4, and we put it there. Sometimes when we've done it in class to help us, we've looked at this number here, and we've drawn 2 circles, and we've put this 8 shared between the 2 circles, and then our answer comes from how many are in one group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 altogether that are shared between 2 groups, and then we've got 4 in each group here. That can sometimes help us if we've got remainders. So if you have a look at this question here, I've got 96 divided by 4. So I'm going to ask myself, using my 4 times tables this time, because that's the number that's on the outside of the bus stop, and I'm going to take the number 9 and share that between 4. So if I have my 4, I can use my 4 times tables, or if I have my 4 groups, 2, 3, 4, I'm sharing 9 between these 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I've got an equal number in there. I don't have enough left from the 9 to put another one in each group. So I'm going to put the 9, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got 2 in each group with 1 remainder. So I put my 2 that I've got in each group as my answer, and my 1 remainder actually goes in front of my next number. So instead now of having 6, I've got 16. And the question I'm going to ask myself is how many 4's are in 16? I can use my 4 times tables. 4, 8, 12, 16. That's 4 lots of 4. Or I could draw 4 circles again and share 16 between the 4 circles. So how many 4's are in 16? It's 4 lots of 4. So my answer to 96 divided by 4 is 24. Okay, now we're going to have a look at fractions, and particularly adding and subtracting fractions, because that comes up a lot on the Year 3-4 arithmetic. And it's always going to be questions where the denominators, which is the number on the bottom of the fraction, are the same. So here, if you have a look, I've got, remember it's back to front, 5 sixths, subtract 2 sixths. So my denominators are both 6, they're the same. This is what I need to do. If my denominators are the same, my answer, which has got to be a fraction, is going to have exactly the same denominator. So that's a 6 and that's a 6. My denominator of my answer is going to be a 6 as well. And then all that I do is I subtract across my numerators, my top numbers. 5 take away 2 equals 3. So my answer is 3 sixths. Works the same with addition. Here I've got 3 eighths add 2 eighths. My denominator is the same in my answer. The denominators are the same for each of these. So my denominator in my answer, so I went off screen there, is going to be the same, an 8. And then, just like with the subtraction, I add across my numerators. 3 add 2 is 5. Right. Hope those little videos help. Any questions? You've got my emails. Email away. All right, good luck. Bye.